there, it's Abby Unger getting ready to get started with our monthly free webinar. So every month on the second Thursday of the month, Flight Attendant Career Connection holds a free webinar. And since it is October 9th and it is the second Thursday of the month of October, we are doing our live webinar. I hope it's coming through clear for y'all because it looks like it's jumping around crazy on the screen to me, but hopefully it's going to be pretty clear for y'all. All right. Let me see about, I guess we're good. I guess we're good. Anybody, if y'all want to message on the side, if you can hear me, if you can see me, that would be helpful. Because I don't really see anybody. All right, well, let's just go ahead and get started because this is going to be on YouTube. So, so that would work. Are you on? Can you see me? No.
I can. How do I get?
That's okay. All right, so we'll just keep going because this will live on YouTube. So if for some reason I'm totally messing it up, I was just asking my husband because I thought maybe he was on, but he's not. He's monitoring the Facebook group for me because I'd asked him to make sure that there weren't any last minute questions. So actually, basically, let's just get started with introduction. So I am Abby Unger. I am the author of the book, Looking Skyward, Turn Your Flight Attendant Dreams into Reality. I'm also the founder and owner of Flight Attendant Career Connection. And Flight Attendant Career Connection is a company that offers encouragement, coaching, community, and resources to aspiring flight attendants. So I'm really excited that y'all are here and that you're watching and that you've come to hang out with me for an hour. And I hope you have some questions. We're going to have Q&A near the end. So that's going to be fun. That's always insightful when you can ask questions and kind of pick my brain. I really like interacting with y'all and getting to answer the questions live. And even if you're watching this later on YouTube, of course, you don't get to ask a question live, but usually the questions are pretty relevant for everyone. So I hope you still learn from them. Okay, so I am going to make sure that my Q&A is turned on over there, just in case. All right. Okay, good. So Flight Attendant Career Connection, like I said, offers resources, community encouragement, and coaching to aspiring flight attendants. So the way that we do that is there's a couple ways. There is the biggest thing that we do is we have a Facebook group. Flight Attendant Career Connection is the name of the Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, oh, good. Someone says they can hear me and see me perfectly. Awesome. Good. Because it was acting weird. All right. So the Facebook group. So Flight Attendant Career Connection on Facebook. You can search for it on Facebook. Request to join if you're not already a member. We'd love to have you in there. The group is growing, and it's full of aspiring flight attendants, former flight attendants, current flight attendants. But more than that, it's full of people who are excited about having a dream and want to encourage other people and answer questions. You can ask a question, who's hiring? Should I wear this? You can take a picture of 2 different kinds of lipstick if you're trying to decide what you're going to wear to your interview. Post it in the group. We'll help you. We'll vote. We'll let you know what color shirt you're going to wear. One of our longest threads this last week was whether or not this girl should wear pink or white. Now, it did get a little heated. I know that is pretty risky stuff there, you know, pink or white, but you know, we try to keep it encouraging, and pretty much everyone had opinions. So it was kind of fun to talk about, you know, why I think white or why I think pink. So it really is a community over there. Don't be afraid to ask questions and interact. So I'd really love to have you join in the Facebook group. We also offer, we have a website. So flightattendantcareerconnection.com is the website. You'll find a blog over there. I've had a lot of guest posters on the blog, guest blog posts recently. If you would be interested in writing a guest post for Flight Attendant Career Connection, I would love that. You can message me on Facebook or send me an email, and I would love to take a look at that. So 2 weeks ago, we had a post about how to budget as a new flight attendant because you don't make a ton as a new hire. Then last week, we had a guest post from a lady who, she's not in the travel industry at all, but she has a daughter who has special needs, and they fly from the West Coast to the East Coast several times a year. And so she just wrote a little bit about her experiences and what flight attendants we can do as flight attendants to make her life better, and how we can help her. So that was really cool. So if you have a story of either how you became a flight attendant or something that happened to you that was neat on an airplane, or a tip about how to pack or anything like that, if you're a travel blogger, if you have, any kind of idea, I'm open to it because we really are a community. So anything that you think could benefit aspiring flight attendants, I would love to hear about it. So that's over there on the website. So on the website, you'll find a tab that says airline listings, and this is just a list of all the airlines, well, pretty much all the airlines in the world, and it's a link. There's a link to each airline that will send you to their career page. Now, the airline industry, as far as hiring goes, is pretty quick moving. So sometimes a company is accepting job applications. Like Southwest, last December, they opened up and accepted flight attendant applications. And they told everyone, we're going to take the first 10,000 and then we're going to cut it off. And it only took something like 45 minutes. So it was only open for 45 minutes. So that airline listing is not a list of airlines that are hiring necessarily because it moves so quickly. But it's just a resource for you to be able to quickly find the career pages. Also, a list of our products and services. I already said that I'm the author of the book Looking Skyward, and that was my first book. It's a guide to becoming a flight attendant. It's available on Amazon, or you can buy it through the website. We also offer an interview workbook, and in the interview workbook, there's over 30 questions as well as some instruction on how to answer the questions. There are no answers in the book because your answers are going to be different from anyone else's, but there is some instruction to help guide you and sort of, help you know if you're on the right track and maybe give you some inspiration about which direction you should go with your answers. And we also do, I do all the coaching. It's interview prep coaching. So if you have an interview coming up, or if you've thought about becoming a flight attendant and you're not sure where to get started, I do coaching for that. And we've had a really good, a pretty successful run. I love doing it. I feel like everyone benefits from it when we get to really, we meet either over Skype or FaceTime and we get to really talk, and I can assess your goals and I can tell you what I think your next step should be. I'll listen to you answer interview questions. I'll ask you interview questions, listen to your answers. We'll talk about, how you could say something better, or if you said something awesome, or if you should totally not tell that story in an interview. I'll tell you that too, so that the first time you're like trying out these stories or trying out these answers is not in the interview. It's with someone who can give you real feedback. So that is what interview coaching is, because I do get asked that a lot. What is the coaching? What is it for? And it's really just to help you get a job as a flight attendant, or even discover if that's what you want to do. So all that information's over on the website. So you can find out more about that over on the website. Okay, good. So that's basically an overview of all that we are. So now let's get into what we're going to talk about this month. Like I said at the beginning, we do this free webinar every month on the second Thursday. Today is the second Thursday, and today is October 9th. And it is also oh, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you all still see me? I hope so. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Pushed a weird button. Okay. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not super good at this stuff. Okay, so it's also my birthday. So if you're in the Facebook group, you probably knew that, because I've been out running around all day, and I got to go get my nails done with my mom, and we got our toes done. So I really do appreciate all of the happy birthdays and all of the really sweet messages. And I hope to get into the Facebook group when I'm done with this, so I can thank all of y'all on a more personal level. But my phone was, dinging all day, and I was getting your Facebook happy birthday. So I really do appreciate it. So thank you. I love that. That was really sweet. All of your sweet messages. So, but now let's get into the content. Okay. So right now, U.S. Airways and American Airlines are both hiring flight attendants. So right now, as soon as this webinar is done, if you have not applied to these both of these airlines, or if it's been over 6 months since you didn't make it through, weren't offered a job, I want you to go and apply again. So kind of from the outside looking in, and as far as the general public is concerned, American Airlines and U.S. Airways have merged. And they're flying as one airline. And their paint scheme matches. And when you book a ticket through the American website, you can sometimes, there is no U.S. Airways website anymore. Like, they're, from the outside looking in, they are one airline. They have not been issued, they're not flying under, it's called one certificate. So they have not been issued a certificate together where they actually are operating as one airline. Just their website is operating as one airline, and like their paint scheme as they paint, their airplanes look the same on the outside. But that doesn't mean that the actual companies have become one company yet. Okay, it's kind of like they're engaged and they're not married. So maybe like they have a Costco card together, but they're not actually like filing taxes together. Okay, so they are two separate companies. So there are two separate companies. This is why you need to know that. You need to apply to both. If you apply to American, awesome. Apply to U.S. Airways too. If you've already applied to U.S. Airways, awesome. Apply to American too. Don't think that because you applied to one side or the other, or you got turned down by one side or the other, that it's even across the board, because it is not. You need to be applying to both of them. Now, eventually, in a few years, who knows how long, could be next year, could be 10 years, they will be together. They will all be the new American. So if you get hired by U.S. Airways, it will not be long before you find yourself as an American flight attendant. So in some ways that's good, because if you really would like to be on the American side, you actually kind of have two ways in. But I want you to make sure that you apply to both. Don't get tricked by thinking that they're one airline. Plus, here's another thing that's crazy. You have to go to the American website and the American career page to apply for both. So if you go right now to the American website, and you click on, you go to careers, and then you go to, it'll say job description or something, and you go to flight attendant. There's several, it will say flight attendant trainee, and there will be a little picture of the American Airlines little symbol. And then they're actually hiring for speakers as well. So when it just says flight attendant trainee, that means you only speak English. Of course, if you speak another language, you want to apply for that, because that is that's going to be better, because then you know about that skill. Then they know about an extra skill that you have. Then I want you to scroll down until you see another flight attendant trainee that has a little U.S. Airways emblem, and it actually looks more like a flag. And I want you to apply for that one too. Okay, so they're on the same site even, but you're applying for two different airlines. I know, crazy. I just blew your mind, didn't I? Yep. Okay, good. So be applying for both. Another thing I want to talk about is Delta. So Delta accepted applications last month, I think. Was it last month? It was August. Last month, August, something like that. So they were open for about a month, and they accepted applications. And it seems to me that their trend has been, they're doing everything almost in batches. So like a few days ago, they sent out a batch of video interview requests. So I don't know, 50, 100 of y'all in the group got an invitation, even though you all kind of applied at the same time. I have no idea what order they're doing anything in. There's no rhyme or reason. They are not doing referrals first. They are not doing it based on last name. They're not doing it based on age. They're not doing it based on where you live in the country. They're not doing it based on when you applied. They're just sort of, who knows, maybe they have some fancy computer system, or maybe it's just luck of the draw. But if you have not heard back yet, more than likely you are going to be invited to at least do the video interview, because they sent out those no thank yous pretty quickly after the assessment happened. So I also noticed, because some of y'all have been asking me, what does archived mean? So some of the applications have moved from under review to archived. I don't know what it means, honestly, but I do know that people have been moving out of the archived and been invited to do their video interview. So it must just be something in the computer filing system that they have to sort of hold people to the side or put them in a different pile. It doesn't mean that they're getting ready to get a thanks but no thanks necessarily. It doesn't mean that you're not getting ready. It just means that you're going in another file. I just think that they're so overwhelmed with all of the applications that they're just coming up with new filing systems. So also the way Delta is doing their interviews this time is first you have a video interview, and then you have a phone interview if you pass through the video interview. Can you get me? Oh, thank you. And then after you pass through the video interview, then, excuse me, I'm sorry. If you pass through the video interview, then you have your phone interview. And then after the phone interview, then you're invited to the face-to-face. So it seems to me that they are, sorry, I'm getting all choked up talking about Delta. Excuse me. So it seems like that Delta is doing, they're really doing a pretty, I guess, significant pre-screening, more than they did last time, because they're going to ask you about your tattoos and things like that before you get to your face-to-face. In the past, they've waited until you get there, and then they're like, oh, you have a tattoo on your face. I'm sorry, we can't hire you. Well, now they ask you on the phone before they fly you to Atlanta and make you take off work, you know, do you have a tattoo on your face? Well, they actually just ask you if you have a tattoo, but so the one on your face would count. Excuse me. So that's sort of how the Delta thing is working. The video interview, so far it's been 5 interview questions using the STAR format. So the STAR format is a special type of interviewing process where you tell a specific situation that you've been in and you answer with the STAR format. So STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So basically you're just telling a story from beginning to end about a time that you gave good customer service or received good customer service or worked as a member of a team. The way that it can be a little bit tricky is because they're asking for a specific story. They're not saying, what do you think about customer service? They're saying, tell me about a time you gave good customer service. So you have to kind of pull all those details out really quickly, which is why coaching can be good, or just even just writing down some stories. Or if you're at work and you solve an awesome problem, you can be like, you know what, I would love to tell Delta about this. I'm going to jot this down. So you don't have to do coaching to do that, but it just helps because it can help you bring those stories up to the front of your brain sooner than if you're sitting there in an interview. So I just want you to be aware of that you're going to be telling a lot of stories about yourself. So as we've been applying and interviewing and all this, I just, this week I feel like, or this month, we have a lot of people graduating. We have people graduating from American training. I'm getting to go to Southwest flight attendant graduation next week to see Christy graduate and get her wings. So I get to fly out there to Dallas for the day and get to witness graduation. I've never been to a graduation that I wasn't getting my wings. So I don't know, I'll probably be crying, probably be a little jelly, but I'm really excited to go and see her. And I'm proud of her, and I'm proud of, you know, so many of y'all that are graduating. And I also, in the Facebook group, there's one member that we have, Amber, and she is she's on a trip and she's in Thailand, and she got her Delta video invite, and she's like backpacking through Asia. She does not have a suit, but she's so resourceful. I think she's going to make an amazing flight attendant, because she got from the lost and found, she found a scarf, she found a white shirt, and she did her hair up like fancy like a flight attendant, and she did her video interview. And I can't wait to hear what they have to say about that, because that's just awesome. I mean, that's like the makings of a flight attendant there. So resourceful. That's just so cool. And so that's pretty exciting. So I just thought that was like a really, really neat story. And so I also, before we move on to some questions and answers, I also wanted to, I messed this thing up. I don't know, my screen's acting all weird. I hope it's not acting weird for y'all. Okay. All right, my husband says it looks fine, so that's good. Okay, then I'll just leave it alone. All right, good. So we have got a new sponsor. So I know in the past I've talked to you about the Flight Attendant Shop, which I love because they have awesome travel pros and an awesome deal on their new hire set. But also we've got a new sponsor at Flight Attendant Career Connection. And anytime anybody advertises either on the website or in the Facebook group, I always really talk to them because I don't want to just like spam y'all or spam the group with stuff that doesn't matter, because that's not effective for anybody and it's kind of annoying. And, I'm a consumer, but when I meet someone or when I see a product that I think is special and that we would all like really enjoy, then I like to talk to them and see, like, let's partner, let's work together and let me talk about you. So basically what the newest one, it's called Designs Bye-Bye Lindy. And, like the Saturday Night Live skit where the flight attendant stands at the door says, bye-bye, 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 bye-bye. So that's like where it comes from. So I think that's really kind of cute. And she has a Facebook group as well. And I will have the link. I'll share it. I'll share her Facebook group in our Facebook group. And I'll also put the link in the show notes because I want you to all join her Facebook group because she has this really cool birthday. It's like a birthday club. I think she just calls it like the Bye-Bye Birthday Club. Like everything's like branded that way. It's really cute. But guess what? Since today is my birthday, I got my birthday club gift in the mail today. And so I just opened it and I wanted to show you what I got because it's really cool. So this is a koozie and this is Bella on here. So this is her, this Bella is on everything. And you can see there got the tower in the background and some of her like shirts and different things. You can get different cities like the Eiffel Tower or London or all sorts of things. But this is a koozie with Bella on there. Isn't that cute? And then I also got a luggage tag, which everybody loves luggage tags. I'm trying to hold it in front of my camera. I'm not doing such a great job. Oh, that's way off. There we go. Look. A luggage tag. And then this is neat too because it's wrapped in airplane ribbon. But these are like little note cards. So you could, send these, like if you're overseas, you can send these home and it would be postmarked from, wherever you are. And then also I got a catalog. And I haven't even had a chance to look through it completely yet. But you can go to her website too, which will be in the show notes. And I just think her stuff is so cute. She has wine glasses and she has totes and wine totes and she has all sorts of stuff. T-shirts. It's just so fun. I just love this little flight attendant on there, Bella. So I just wanted to share that with y'all and share that fun site. And she's actually retired from American Airlines, and she's a member of our group too. So I'm sure if you had any American Airlines specific questions, she wouldn't mind talking about it. She already offered, she said, anytime you need help. So she was there for many years. So I'm really excited to have her kind of be like a member of our family and a member of our team. So that's Designs Bye-Bye Lindy. So that's cute. All right, so let's move on and do some questions and answers. All right, so someone wants to know, how is budgeting during training if the training isn't paid? Okay, so if you have no money, then it's easy. You can't budget, right? Okay, not really, because you probably have bills. So the trainings that are not paid, most of the time they will provide you with housing, so a place to stay, as well as food. So those two big things are taken care of. What you're going to have to be responsible for is any other kind of bills that you have, like your cell phone or your car payment or your student loan payment or your credit card payment. Most of these things are payments because training is anywhere from 3 weeks to 9 weeks. The longest ones are 9. Most are 4 or 5 or 6. So we're really talking about like one set, maybe 2 sets of bills. So if it's just your cell phone, then you can probably swing that for 2 months, you know, $200 or so. But if you've got a lot of payments, then you're really going to have to do some soul searching about how you are going to position yourself to actually make this dream something that's possible for you. So it's probably going to be selling your car, especially if you have payments. You don't even know where you're going to be based anyways. It may even be a city that you don't even need a car. Or you can buy a crash pad car, which is kind of like a junker car. Another thing is if you have a lot of debt, you know, maybe you need to start delivering pizzas. Maybe, you know, and you could do that for 6 weeks and make, you know, a couple $1,000, and maybe that will help you, or at least you would have something in the bank so that you can make those payments. But that's kind of how budgeting works in training. Training's not forever. It's kind of short, but you can't just not pay your bills either. And so that is something to definitely consider. So the book that I recommend, if you have questions about planning, budgeting, finances, is The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. He is a financial guru. He has a really common sense kind of approach to money. It's not super sophisticated, but he will teach you how to budget. He will teach you how to get out of debt. Also, on the blog, there is a blog post and it actually, Melissa, who is a financial counselor, she actually created a budget based on about what a new hire makes a month and shows you how you can sort of make it work. And there's some other tips in there too from her. So I would check that out too. All right, let's do another question. Okay, do I happen to know why someone would go to Dallas for a U.S. Airways interview when it used to be in Charlotte? Well, they actually used to do them in Charlotte and Phoenix because those are the main hubs for U.S. Airways. But U.S. Airways and American Airlines are merging, which means they are slowly working on becoming one airline. So that's why they've moved the training as well as some of the hiring to Dallas. All right. And I don't know, someone's asking, is it true that you could go to a U.S. Airways face-to-face and no one get the job? I mean, I would think that that would be possible. I mean, they can do whatever they want if they don't see anyone, you know, or if something's going on. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's possible. And then I got some happy birthdays. Thank you. All right, thank you for the happy birthdays. Okay, awesome. Thank you for the happy birthdays. Anybody else have questions? No? Okay, well, someone actually emailed me in, one of our members. He's actually a radio DJ, and so he's working right now. He's on the air, and he wrote me a message, and he said, can I watch it later because I'm on the air? And he asked me to give him a shout out because last night he was on the air and he told me to listen to his radio show and he would give me a shout out. And so he did. So I want to give him a shout out. I guess I'll use his radio name. I don't know. He has like a stage name. It's like Jordan in the Nighttime. So, but it's a cool radio show. It's just a regular radio show, but I mean, it's enjoyable. But he asked me to give him a shout out, and he also had a question. He wanted me to talk about what a man or gentleman would wear to a face-to-face. And this is a good question. I feel like in our group, or just in general, you know, girls talk about clothes and makeup and hair way more than guys do just in general. So that's probably why we do that in the group. But so here's some advice. Delta loves red. If you're going to a Delta interview, I would really like for you to wear red. I've had some people say, I'm not sure if I should wear red because I don't want them to think I'm trying too hard. And I want to say to you that yes, you do. You want Delta to think that you are trying as hard as you can to work for them. I mean, why not? That's flattering. They're not going to say, oh, no, you want to work for us. Too bad. We're not going to let you work for us because we can tell you really want to work for us. They're not like some weird like teenage boyfriend that like only wants what they can't have. If you put on a red tie and show up at their interview, they're going to appreciate that. It's going to show that you know about their airline. You know what color their uniform is. You've listened to what they say. Yes, wear red lipstick, wear red nail polish, wear a red scarf, wear a red shirt. Some people have even worn red dresses, of course. Okay, so I'm getting way off the gentleman thing because no, if you're a gentleman, please, if you're a guy, please don't wear a red dress. But you can wear a red shirt or you can wear a red tie. But yes, I would wear red if you're going to Delta. Otherwise, you can wear red to other airlines too, but I'm just really, Delta loves red. So if you're going to a face-to-face interview and you're a gentleman, you need to wear a suit. It does not have to be like navy blue or black. It can be navy blue or black, but what we're going for is classic. Classic is different than conservative and different than corporate. What classic means is you could have bought the suit in the 80s or the 90s or now or next year, and it will be appropriate. It's not trendy. The cut of it's not trendy. The fabric's not trendy. It doesn't have big lapels. It doesn't have small lapels. It doesn't have big shoulder pads. It doesn't have small shoulder pads. It's a suit that looks classic. It looks like it's in style no matter what. So that's the kind of suit you want to wear. It can have a pinstripe. It can have a check. It can be solid. It can be gray. It can be black. It can be blue. None of this really matters as long as the actual overall suit is classic. And then you, of course, want to wear a shirt, a button, what do y'all call it? Button-down shirt and a tie. And you want them to match each other. You can ask the salesperson at the store if you have trouble with that. You don't have to wear a white shirt. It could have, your tie can have pattern. Again, we're going for classic. So in the 80s, in the 70s, could you have worn a blue shirt? Yeah, then you can wear a blue shirt now. It doesn't have to be white. So make sure your shoes are polished. That really is a sign of a gentleman, if your shoes are polished. I actually have a video on YouTube about how to polish shoes, but I'm sure you probably know how. It's actually pretty simple. So, but you want to make sure that your shoes are in nice condition and that they're polished, because that shows that you take some time and you put some time in the way that you dress and the way that you decided to present yourself to this airline who's offering you an opportunity to have your dreams come true. You also want to shave. Most airlines, as part of their uniform, require you to be clean shaven. A few will allow you to have an already grown out beard, which means you can't have like 5 o'clock shadow and say like, oh, well, I'm growing a beard. So that's sort of where their line is. But I would just recommend that you go ahead and do clean shaven. You want your hair to be short and neatly styled. Nothing trendy, again, nothing trendy. No earrings in any of your ears. No tongue rings, lip rings, nose rings, face rings of any sort. Most airlines don't like that. Virgin America does allow earrings in gentlemen, but other than that, no one else does, and no one else will want you to have those on. So don't wear them to the interview. So I think that's pretty much everything a guy wears. You need to try to wear a watch. You can wear your wedding ring. Other than that, you don't need to wear any rings unless you have a wedding ring. I don't want to see like a thumb ring or some like diamond pinky ring. They don't want that. That's not classic. You can wear it on your layovers though with your regular clothes. So that's the question that I got through email. Let's see if we have another one. Okay, so this is a question about weight. Okay, so she's wondering about weight, and I am not sure. Okay, so in the U.S., in the United States of America, they stopped weighing flight attendants in the 90s. All the way to the 90s, you got weighed. They stopped making you wear a girdle in the 70s, but you still got weighed until the 90s. Nowadays, they don't weigh you. You have to be able to fit down the aisle, you have to be able to fit out the emergency exit, and you have to be able to fit in your jump seat without an extension. Those are the only sort of like weight or body size limitations. That is in the United States of America. If you are applying for an airline that is not based in the United States of America, you may run into some body mass index regulations, some height and weight regulations outside of the U.S. Emirates is pretty strict about it, although they don't advertise when they recruit in the U.S. That is something that they are mindful of. Same with Norwegian Airlines. They don't list it in their criteria, but as part of their medical, they will weigh you. So if you are looking at an airline outside of the U.S., then your body mass index may be an issue. If you are looking inside of the US, it's not going to be an issue as long as you meet those criterias. And they also say that they want your weight to be proportionate to your height. So that pretty much is the same thing as saying you'll fit down the aisle. Um, so I've never been, well, I'll just level with you. I've never been skinny. No one's ever called me skinny. Like, I'm just not a skinny girl. I've never been a skinny girl. I wasn't a skinny girl when I was younger. I wasn't a skinny girl when I was a flight attendant. I'm not a skinny girl now. When I got hired by my airlines, I wasn't a skinny girl. So no, you don't have to be thin. You don't have to look like a model. You can be, as long as you fit down the aisle and fit in the jump seat, fit out the emergency window, then you are able to be hired. And part of it, I think where your weight can stop you from getting this job is if it stops you in your own mind. So for instance, if you feel so insecure because of your weight that you let it affect the way you answer, the way you sit, the way you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you wear your clothes, if you let the way your weight affect those things, then yes, your weight is holding you back. But that's only because you're letting it. And that's not to say, though, that we shouldn't be healthy. So if you're not feeling so great about yourself, if you feel like you should lose a couple pounds, like, there are a lot of ways to do it, a lot of really good healthy ways to do it. And, get out there, start walking, just get healthier, because even if you don't lose a ton of weight, if you exercise and you eat right, you'll feel better and your confidence will be better. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. And I forgot that a couple months ago, I started talking about books that I like. And so I forgot to do that before I did the question. So I'm going to do it now. And the links are going to be in the show notes to these books. So my friend, she's actually my friend, which is really cool. Her name is Kelsey Humphreys. Her book came out, I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. She's actually having her huge, big book launch party tonight. But I'm here with y'all, and it's actually in another city. But I'm really proud of Kelsey. But the name of her book, is called Go Solo. And the book is for people who have always, I think the tagline is like, leave the job you hate and start the small business that you love. But you don't have to hate your job to appreciate the book. In fact, I read it and enjoyed it, and I don't hate my job. I love my job. But even as a flight attendant, I loved my job too. But this book, what it really is a guide for you. If you've ever thought about, it would be cool to own a small business, or like you just sort of are kind of entrepreneurial, just sort of like let me see, I could probably sell this, or I could probably do this. Her book comes with a workbook that will help you walk through and really instead of just saying, oh, I would love to own my own business, it's like, well, what does that mean for you? What are you passionate about? Where could you maybe, start a business on the side? And I really think it's great for flight attendants or aspiring flight attendants, because that's really what we're looking for, is like a side thing. You're not looking to leave the career of a flight attendant and start a business. You're just looking for something you can do maybe on the side in your downtime. So if you've always been kind of interested in that kind of thing, I would really recommend her book, Go Solo. Also, one of our members, she is the author of the book. Her name is Michelle, and she's in our group, and she's a flight attendant, and she's the author of the book. It's the Tales in the Sky, and it's an ebook. There's actually 3 of them. I'm reading the second one right now. I shared it in the group a couple weeks ago, and I think some of y'all read it and enjoyed it. And it's just a funny, it's fiction. It's like a funny little book. It's almost like a fairy tale, but it's about a flight attendant. The reason that I recommend this book, besides the fact that it's a cute story and it's fun to read, is because she is a flight attendant. She does an awesome job of, the main character is a flight attendant too, and she's on reserve in the first book and part of the first book. And so she does a really good job of describing what reserve actually looks like and what it actually means. Excuse me. No, I don't have Ebola because I have not been to Dallas. I'm going to Dallas next week, so hopefully I don't get it then. I'm just talking too much, and now I'm coughing. But anyways, okay, so she does a really good job of, my husband's really laughing at me. I don't know, he said it's too soon. He said it's too soon telling Ebola jokes, so I'm sorry if that offends anybody. But anyway, so Michelle does a great job of describing Reserve, but it's in a fun way because it's a fiction book. So I'll have the link to that too. Okay, so any more questions before we go?
Yes, there's one.
Oh
How
yeah.
come airlines fly you to face, same day, and come back and don't put you up in the hotel overnight?
Okay, so the reason that they fly you to the face-to-face in the same day is because they don't want to pay the money for your hotel. That's basically it. I mean, could you imagine the 100 people that they fly in every day, and then they're paying for the hotel, and they're paying like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars? So that's basically it. And then what are they going to do if you like totally go rock star in the hotel and you like trash everything, throw the lamp out the window? You know, like you're not even an employee. So it's sort of partly a risk thing, and then it's just a money thing. You could probably fly. Sometimes they will let you change it so that you can fly up and spend the night beforehand if you want to pay for your hotel. But a lot of airlines have stopped even flying you in. So the ones that fly you in are amazing that they do that still. Okay. All right. So I think that might be all the questions. I've got my husband's here tonight, so my trusty assistant over there. All right. So I think that's all the questions. Okay, so again, of course, I would love to see y'all next month in the live webinar on the second Thursday, and I'm always available to answer questions. So ask a question in the group, in the Facebook group. Ask a question, send me a personal message. I even check my other folder all the time. Oh, the birthday question. Oh, the birthday contest. I forgot to pick a winner, but I will. Sal, I'll pick a winner. And I'll post it on Facebook. I forgot. I'm so sorry. I forgot to pick a winner. We were running a contest in the Facebook group for signing up for the email list, and I said that I would announce the winner tonight in the webinar, but then I forgot to pick one. So I'll pick one later. But anyways, okay, so if you have a question for me, please send me a message. Send me an email. My email is facareerconnection@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Facebook or a message in the group. So I try to, you could tweet at me if you wanted to, at Abby Unger. There's all sorts of ways to get in touch with me. You send me a letter, but I'm not going to tell you my address over the YouTube, over the internet. So you probably can't send me a letter. Just email me. That's probably the best way to do it. Or send me a Facebook message. But I really enjoyed hanging out with y'all tonight. I hope y'all had a good time. I hope you learned something. So your big takeaways are: make sure you applied to American and U.S. Airways, and then use the list, the airline listing on flightattendantcareerconnection.com to apply to all the other airlines too. Apply, apply, apply. The more airlines you apply to, the better you're going to get, the more practice you're going to get, and the better your odds are going to be that you're going to be flying really, really soon. So I hope that y'all have a good night, and I will talk to you later. See you on Facebook. Bye.